Hello, my name is Jesse Rulo, and I'm here today to speak to you about my device that will help people with autism. Since antiquity, the star Polaris has been used to help sailors to navigate the world and ascertain location. Polaris is a constant in the northern sky. Its reliability is why we use it and why we call it the North Star. Another constant force in the universe is the love a parent has for their child and the concern for that child's safety. If you are the parent or caregiver of a child with a disability, the concern for their safety is intensified by a myriad of obstacles and challenges, like those of autism, particularly the exit seeking behavior known as wandering or elopement. As defined by the National Autism Association, this is the tendency for an individual to leave the safety of a responsible person's care or safe area, which may result in potential harm or injury. I have seen this problem firsthand during my many years working in the hospitality industry. My girlfriend also has an adult brother who is intellectually disabled, nonverbal, non-speaking autistic, and he has wandered off or bolted off multiple times. This is a serious problem, plaguing a lot of people who have care for someone with autism, especially if they're not high functioning or nonverbal. I'm here today to speak about Project Polaris. Our children are the stars of our lives. With Project Polaris, we want to give the parents and caregivers the ability to track the location of their loved ones who would wander off the path. I will first tell you why this is an important problem that needs to be addressed. I will then show you my product and go over its features, and I will finish with an overview of the market. Wandering, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, studies of academies by the Academies of Pediatrics show that 1 out of every 68 children are diagnosed with autism. Almost half of all autistic children portray wandering or elopement behavior, so it's a pretty widespread issue amongst the autistic community. According to the National Autism Association, 1/3 of autistic children are nonverbal or non-speaking, making them unable to call for help if lost or stuck. Many autistic children who are verbal um, still don't respond to calls or commands, so don't listen to first responders when they're calling out for them in their names. Uh, Many autistic individuals are attracted to water, making accidental drowning the leading cause of accidental death regards to wandering, with 91% of wandering-related deaths between 2009 and 2011 being the cause of drowning. And the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency and Prevention found that during a 5-year period, more than 1,500 children with autism were reported missing. So almost every day, someone with autism wanders off or bolts away from their caregiver, their loved one, or their home, school, wherever they're supposed to be, and has to be found. And it can be a very scary situation because um, being autistic, they don't have the same sense of fears that someone who's normally developed, ably developed has. And that can be like with the water, they go right to it and they can drown. The high probability of wandering behavior in autistic individuals, coupled with the dangers it brings, makes this a problem that must be dealt with. I hope to do that with the creation of the North Star device. So this would be the North Star device. Small, lightweight, durable, and waterproof. Be able to track the location of the wearer pretty much anywhere they go. Using radio frequencies and AGPS technology, I hope to be able to deliver highly accurate and constant location tracking to allow caregivers and parents the ability to see where their loved one is located at. The use of radio frequency allows for highly accurate tracking even within buildings or during bad weather, and can be air assisted with helicopters from first responders. 3G and 4G technology allows for the use of cell towers, and which allows for 24-hour monitoring anytime anywhere there's a cell tower, which allows you to also hook it up to the app. I would like to be a companion app with this as well. Built in, there would be a two-way phone allowing for calling either way from the caregivers or from the user of the device. The device user will be able to call their caregivers, their parents, emergency services, anything like that if they were to find themselves lost or stuck or wandered off and then just need help. North Star can be used with a companion app to allow real-time monitoring, and the app can be used to set up safety zones. It's also known as geofencing. If the wearer of the North Star device leaves the designated safety zone, the predetermined path, or is in a new and unfamiliar area, the app will send a notification alert to the loved ones who are hooked up to the device. So Each app can be hooked up to an individual device and not to some other stranger's device. And then if this were to leave the geofenced area, the app would instantly send a notification to the users of the app that, hey, your loved one has left the area. You may need to check on this. What's going on? They've either veered off a predestined path on their way to school or the doctor, or maybe they've left the house without you realizing it. This will let you know that, so that way you can catch them before something happens. With today's current battery technology, it would be be completely feasible to have this device run up to 48 hours on one charge. I would like to sell them in pairs, so that way while one's charging, the other one can be worn. It's a pretty easy, small device, can be worn in any pocket. I would like to have a line of clothing to go with it too, that would have be customizable based on the user's preference. I know with autistic children and autistic individuals, sensory issues are a big deal. And so, based on what the needs of that individual are, you can change where the pocket is, inside, outside, up, down, shoulder, back. We can even do, hands, shoes, anywhere we can fit the device. We can put a pocket on there for you and get it squared away. Uh, Knowing the likelihood of water being in a destination of a wandering individual, the North Star device would also be highly water resistant, so that way it can be submerged and still send a signal. North Star device would also come with a USB connection. That would be this right here. You peel this back, the little tag part, little handle part back, and this little USB connection allows you to plug into a computer. Many first responders have a computer on board of their vehicle, so this would allow any first responder who found your loved one to plug this in and instantly know their name, their disability, where they're supposed to be, like their home address, and have a contact list to their caregiver, their parent. Would also, if that device that they plug it into is hooked up to the internet, it would also allow the device to instantly send a notification to the app that your loved one is in the is with first responders, and that you need to look on this, and it'll give you the location and how to get in contact with them as quick as possible. Excuse me. Currently, the market for such a device is small and the cost is high. I was only able to find a few other devices that were similar to this, that wearable GPS tracking. None of them, from what I can tell, use both radio frequency or AGPS. It was one or the other. So I want to combine both to provide a highly accurate, highly constant location. Uh, they were all, except for there was one that the one radio frequency one had was relatively cheap for one package, but the vast majority of the packages I saw were all several $100s. One was even as high as $850. This just isn't feasible for a normal person in today's day economy. It's not very feasible for most people. And there's also a subscription fee that would come every month. I would like to partner with city, state, and federal governments to provide funding to eliminate this need for a monthly subscription and to provide the device for as low cost as possible. Uh, I want to thank you today for allowing me to speak about Project Polaris. I hope you understand how serious of a problem wandering is and appreciate the North Star device and see that there is a market for such a device. The North Star is a constant, like the love for our children. Let Project Polaris help you keep an eye on your North Star and help reduce the dangers of wandering and increase recovery time for lost individuals. Thank you.